This is the 2026 GMC Sierra 3500 HD AT4. Is it the ultimate luxury workhorse? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I borrowed this truck from my friends at Mike Morgan at Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more about this particular truck, check out the link down in the description of the video. And as you see, the animated locator lights, we have the LED projector beam headlights, LED daytime running lights, and the LED turn signal indicators. You will also find LED fog lights down here on the lower portion of the front end. And quite a few things here based on this particular trim level. You have your red recovery hooks. You're going to have your automatic 2-speed transfer case, the 373 rear gear. You also have your underbody skid plating. Quite a bit going on where this truck is concerned. You will see your AT4 logo here on the grille. Now, one thing that should be very pleasing to those of you that are not big fans of chrome is there's very little that is chrome on the exterior of this truck. It is 4-wheel drive. It has the gloss black 20-inch wheels, and when it comes to the side view mirrors, we could do one full video on this alone because there is so much going on here. Number one, they're heated, they're power adjustable, they're power folding. Now, one thing to note here is that this area is power adjustable. This area is manually adjustable. You'll also find your blind spot monitoring built in right there. Now, I'm gonna hit the passive entry button right there, only on the front door handles. I'd like to see that as a standard feature on all 4 door handles. If it's on the front, it should also be on the rear. Now, first of all, I'm going to push these buttons right here to show you some of the exterior lighting. There's the LED lighting right there that you saw on the inside of the mirror. You'll have it also here on the front of the mirror on both sides. We'll also find our LED in-bed cargo lighting, the cab light, and the light right here. Now, that's not all that we have as far as that is concerned. And I think you likely saw what I did right there to turn everything on. Obviously, it's these 2 buttons. Now, we also have the ability to extend out our towing mirrors automatically. Can bring those back in, and all I did was push the middle button right there. This button shows that they are power folding. Now, you can go into your center screen, and there's a setting where you can turn that setting on so that when you lock the truck, those mirrors automatically fold in, and when you unlock the truck, they will automatically fold back out. You have the power assist steps right here, as you can see, and you have the bed step. Now, these steps will not have the button on the back where you can kick it with your foot and have the step come back here, because you don't really need it with the bed step being present right here. You can step up on there and gain access to the front of your bed. And when we come to the rear, we'll have the bumper steps or corner steps on each side. That's going to be helpful as far as getting in and out of the bed or gaining access to the rear when you don't really need to get all the way in. And hopefully you could see the animation on these tail lights. Again, those are the locator lights that we were talking about earlier in the video. Now, one thing that may be of interest to some of you, there are 2 engine options for this truck. I am going to show you the remote real quick. Lock, unlock, remote start. You can open your power tailgate right here, but I'm going to hit the button and let you know which motor is under the hood. Most of you, if not all of you watching the video, should be able to hear which engine this is. For those who may not know the difference in the sound of the engine, this is the 6.6 liter naturally aspirated gas burning engine. It puts out 401 horsepower and 464 pounds-feet of torque. You can go with the 6.6 Duramax diesel engine. Your numbers will jump up to 470 horsepower and 975 pounds-feet of torque. Both engines will be mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. You will also have a 36-gallon tank, no matter which engine option you go with. Something else that I want to show you that is very important here that no other truck offers outside of the GMCs and the Chevrolets are the stickers that we have right here. This will allow you to figure out what you need to be able to tow. In fact, it gives you your max numbers. And according to the sticker, in this configuration, your max payload is 3,946 pounds. Now, how about your tow ratings? Conventional towing, you're looking at 16,000 pounds. If you go with a gooseneck, that number will go to 18,300 pounds. And something that I have found to be so helpful is the Multi-Pro tailgate. For those of you that are not familiar with this, this is not a conventional tailgate by any means, although you can use it this way as a conventional tailgate. But I have the same tailgate on my GMC Sierra. It's the SLT trim level in my case. But here are the things that you can do. Number one, you can use this area as a table. You can also open it and technically use it to have things sticking out of the bed if you need to and you just don't want it sitting up quite as high. This area right here, if I can get that up, can also be used as a bed extender. Just let things sit up against that. Now, this is also going to be a multitasker because you can also use it for the true intended purpose, and that is as a step. Here is bed extender number 2. Now I'm going to put that back down because one thing that I really like about this is that we can drop that area when the tailgate is down like that and gain access to the rear of the bed a little bit more easily than we might be able to with just the steps. We don't have to step up on anything. If you need to take advantage of plugging or unplugging something with your 120 volt power outlet, there you go. You're going to have a total of 12 tie downs, 3 in the front, 3 in the rear on both sides. You do have the spray-in bed liner. And everything is here as far as all of your different plug-ins and everything you need, everything for towing. It's all going to be here. You have your power sliding rear window as well that is operated from the upper console in the cab. And one more thing I wanted to show you right here is the fact that there is your step. Now with this truck, with the 1500s, I find that step is very easy to use without a handle. But the fact that there is no handle here, it's a little bit harder unless you have really good balance because you're having to step up quite a bit higher. But for some of you, that might not be a problem. I'm 5'10", it's a little bit more challenging for me. But overall, a lot of versatility back here with the bed of this truck. And let's talk about your rear seat area. Your back seat passengers are going to find a ton of room, not only with the armrest, with the door bins, but also overall space. Plenty of leg room, plenty of head space. There is storage space underneath the seats right here and the tools needed to change the tire. By the way, the spare tire is located right there underneath the rear of the bed. You should be able to see that on the screen as far as that goes. Now, both seat cushions on both sides will raise, just like I just showed you here on the driver's side. But here's something that I really like. I know it is nice to have the extra space in my personal truck in these areas right here in the seat backs where you can store, well, whatever will fit. That is a nice thing. We also have our rear seat pockets, the back of each seat, cup holders. I'll tell you what, GMC thinks everybody's going to be really thirsty because you have a bottle holder built into the door bin, 2 cup holders right here on the rear of the center console, and guess what? 2 more cup holders when you fold down the armrest right there with the cup holders built in. Isn't that interesting? And there is our power sliding rear window. You have your rear window defogger if you need to take advantage of that. The air conditioning vents, a little on the small side for your back seat passengers. Maybe we'll see a change with that in the future when we see this truck redesigned. I have no idea when that is going to happen, as GMC has said nothing about that as of the time I'm making this video. We will also find that we have the outboard heated seats and a couple of USB options, and this truck will have a conventional size sunroof. And we'll find nice large door bins and armrests here again with the front doors. We'll find power adjustable seats for the driver and the passenger with lumbar support. Both are heated and ventilated. And here's something that I really like. If you do some heavy off-roading with this truck and people get out and their shoes are dirty, their boots, whatever they're wearing, guess what? You can just take out the carpeted inserts and then you don't have to worry about that being such an issue. It makes everything so much easier to clean. We have our AT4 logo on the door sill right there. It's also stitched into the headrests, but only here on the front seats. Personally, I think it should be on all of the headrests. If it's here in the front, it should also be in the rear. And a little bit of additional storage. We'll have this on both sides of the center console. This area right here, it is fairly small, but some things such as a cell phone or whatever can fit in there, whatever will fit. There is the upper glove box, and there is the lower glove box. And the sticker price, for those of you who are patient enough to wait until this point in the video instead of just asking in the comments section, it's $80,425. Let's see what else you get for that price. We're going to have our home link buttons here, so you can program up to 3 garage door openers for your truck. You can just push those buttons for the appropriate opener. And here is the control I was telling you about for that power sliding rear window, the controls for your power sunroof that tilts and slides open. And we also have our digital rear view mirror. Now, if you want to use that as a conventional mirror, you can do that. There are a lot of adjustments you can make to help to turn that back on, wouldn't it? There we go. Now I can show you some of the adjustments. You can adjust brightness and different things like that, depending on what you need to do. And height and all of that is adjustable. And over here on the driver's side door, you know everything here is for your power mirror adjustments. And we also have the one touch down, but you have to hold the rear buttons to raise those rear windows. Front windows, one touch down, one touch up. Seat memory, door locks, all of that's going to be here. We also have our power parking brake located right here. And then everything for your drive mode is right here, your drive modes. In fact, let's run through that real fast just to show you. You have your normal, and you also have off-road. So depending on what you need to do, there that is. Now, let me see here. Let's make an adjustment. Here are the controls for your head-up display. So, let's see if we can get that to come up for us. There we go. It actually just wasn't bright enough. Hopefully you can see that okay, but you can adjust what information is on there. I don't know if you can see that. I apologize if you can't. Sometimes my camera doesn't do the best job of picking that up. But the head-up display is here. And we will have our shifter over here. We'll also find everything for your turn signal indicator control right there, your turn signal stalk, so you can let people around you know what you're doing before you do it. I know a lot of you like to have people just guessing. You play the guessing game with everybody on the road because you don't use your turn signals. Or maybe when you bought your vehicle, you just couldn't afford the turn signal or blinker option. That may be what it actually is. Okay, sarcasm aside, you can also control your windshield wipers here. And there's another trick that I'm going to show you here in just a minute that you can do from that control as well. Now, looking at the driver's display, you might say, hey, Tom, mine doesn't look like that. How did you do that? Well, let me go back here and show you. So we're going to arrow over until we get to this screen, and you can change your display layout. Now, we have a couple of different options here that are presets, depending on how you want things to look. You can change that, or you can go here and change individual areas, depending on what you want to see or not see. As you can see, you can do the left side, the right side, the lower gauges, info page. All of that's here. You can see what's going on. Software update. If you're not happy with what you've done, you can reset to defaults. Quite a few different things going on here depending on what you want to see. Very easy to deal with. And obviously you saw I was using everything here. There's everything for voice commands. Everything for your adaptive cruise control is right here. Now, one thing that is nice about adaptive cruise control with these trucks is that you can use it while you're towing. So that works really well. Heated steering wheel, it is comfortable, and it is tilt and telescopically adjustable. Now, in this case, it's not a power adjustable steering wheel. You'll drop the lever right there, and that's what allows you to adjust it. Now, a lot to talk about here. We're going to try and get through this as quickly as we can with our 13.4-inch touchscreen. Now, you have quite a few different things that you can look at over here, depending on what will come up for me. You can have the clock, you can have navigation, you can have trailering, all that stuff is here. A lot of people have asked me, can you completely get rid of this section of the screen and have all of this go all the way across? No, unfortunately, you can't. But that answers that question. You can wirelessly pair your phone to the screen or to the system. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are here. You have all of your different camera views. So there is our front camera view. I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to push this button. This runs the windshield washer fluid, but it also sprays a stream of windshield washer fluid across the front camera. That's your front camera washer. Some people know about that, some people don't. So in case you were curious to know, there you go. There is the rear view. We have our overhead view, and you have two different views with a lot of these different options as far as your camera views go, depending on what you need to see. And I'm going to go back right here, and we'll go back over here now. You might wonder about your 360 degree or that overhead view. There it is. That's what you need to select if that isn't working. And we also have our bed cam. So if you need to see what's going on back there, you will also have Google Assistant where you can say, hey, you know who, I don't want to set off devices in your house, but I could, but I'm not going to do that. The Play Store is also here. You can go to your maps, as you can see right there. Everything for trailering is here. That makes things nice and simple. Depending on what you need to do, you can see everything that's there. Like I said, we're not going to spend a lot of time on everything here, but there is an area where I know a lot of people ask questions. So we're going to go in here and talk about a few different things. Now you can see everything that you have here with your vehicle settings. Depending on what you need to do, that's where you can come. But ultimately, we're going to go to vehicle. Teen driver mode, rear seat reminder. You can turn your buckle to drive feature on and off. Now I have that off because I'm moving around in the parking lot here where I'm filming the video, but do use your seatbelt when you drive. How about your safety features, your collision and detection systems? You can adjust the alert type. You have automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, lane change alert, park assist tow bar, and then you have your rear cross traffic alert. And you can see that you can turn some of those off and on. You can also go in and make some changes to whether it's alert and brake or alert only, or just turn that off, depending on what your personal preference is where all of that is concerned. And we're going to go to comfort and convenience right here. You can change your chime volume. If it's too loud or too quiet, this is where you change that. And we'll come back here, your reverse tilt mirror. When you go into reverse, the mirrors will tilt down, and as far as the glass goes, and you'll be able to see what's going on behind you a little bit easier that way. Remote mirror folding, I told you about that earlier. There is how you turn that feature on or off, and also your rain sensing wipers, gonna be right there. And I showed you your locator lights, or as they're often called, just the animated lighting. If they're not working, you can come here and turn them on and off, either right there or right here with the check mark. So a lot to talk about, but I'm not going to cover everything, as I said. Keep from making this video too long. Now, you can pretty much figure out what's here. It's very easy to learn and use this particular screen. GMC has very simplistic technology. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you have the ventilated and heated seats, depending on what you need to do there. You can do that. Dual zone climate control is here, and everything here as far as your different one-touch features, depending on what you need to turn on and off. You'll notice on the button right there for the tailgate, there's only a down arrow. Unless you have the conventional tailgate as opposed to the multi-pro tailgate, you're only going to have the power down feature as opposed to having the power up as well. Space right here, storage. We also have our USB connections here, a couple of different options. Our cup holders. Here's how you're going to control and manage your trailer braking, and a nice large center console with, again, that AT4 logo. This doubles as an armrest. And we're going to take this tray out just so I can show you how much space is here. And I am going to dispel some misinformation that is out there on the internet. I've had a lot of people tell me when I talk about the fact that there is no 12-volt power outlet in these trucks, and they say that the 12-volt power outlet is to the right of the wireless charging pad. There's your wireless charging pad. They are missing a digit. It's not a 12-volt, it's a 120-volt. There is no 12-volt, which I do not understand that personally. I had to buy a USB to 12-volt adapter for my GMC Sierra because, well, I have a dash cam that I need to run, and obviously I couldn't do that with the absence of a 12-volt power outlet. Come on, GMC, give us back our 12 volts. Okay, here we go on the test drive, and this truck will get up and go nicely. It has a nice exhaust note to it, depending on what it is you want for your truck. And the ride quality, while it is a heavy-duty truck, you're not expecting butter smooth experiences where that's concerned. It's not terrible. It does tend to take the bumps a little bit better than the 1500s because it's not as light. So there is a little bit of a difference where that is concerned. But I don't think anybody buys one of these trucks and is shocked when it doesn't have the smoothest on-road experience. But it's not bad. It doesn't beat you to absolute death. I own a truck, as I said, that is a 2500 as well. It's not an AT4, it's an SLT, but it's a very enjoyable truck to drive. Easy to see out of. You obviously have, depending on the trim level you go with, if you go AT4, obviously you can go with the digital rear view mirror. So if that's something you're looking for, that technology is here. And I had to make a quick turn in the parking lot right there to get back on the road. So we'll get up to speed, no problem where that is concerned. The head-up display is nice and bright, by the way. Easy to see from the driver's perspective if that's something you want. All of the technology here is very nice and easy to use. So much adjustability built into the driver's seat and the steering wheel, working together to make it very easy for any driver of any height to be able to see just fine and be positioned just fine to where they're nice and comfortable. No issues there. Overall, a very enjoyable truck to drive that not only has, well, as funny as it may seem in this day and age, a lot of luxurious features for an HD truck. I know that's a little strange to say, but that's just the direction things have gone over the years. But it is here. A lot of great features, a lot of great functionality, but this truck will also do everything you need it to as far as towing and hauling. Plenty of capability where that is concerned. I gave you those numbers earlier in the video so you'd know what they are. Obviously those numbers change not only by trim level, but also based on what engine option is under the hood. And there it is, the 2026 GMC Sierra 3500 HD AT4 with the 6.6 liter gas burner V8 under the hood. How many of you would rather have that gas burner as opposed to the diesel option, that Duramax diesel? Tell me down in the comments section. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this truck for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Please be sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.